I think that's something that I was kind of processing as I asked the first question about Yush and his idea that it's more important that we do it our particular way than imitating Americans. I think it goes back to the first question at the beginning of the class of the semester, like what is hip-hop? What is it, a culture? Is it a fashion? Is it a fad? I think that the people in Cuba, to me, have more of a connection to what the environment out of which hip-hop grew, out of which it was birthed. They have a lot more of a political and social and economic connection to that than anybody will in Europe. Not to say that racism and those things don't exist in Europe. So to me, everybody who is in Europe is, at the end of the day, to me, inauthentically hip-hop. And they are simply just consumers. You know, some white boy in Amsterdam, how does he relate to these black, brown people in Cuba or in the U.S.? So I think that for me is like, you talk about globalization. To me, what's happening in Cuba is authentic versus what's happening in Europe is globalization, or just a consumption of hip-hop the same way we're doing here in America now.
I think that dudes in Amsterdam, man, were more sincere and really was into like the culture and stuff. And I mean, I thought earlier in the class that we talked about that you don't have to actually be black to be in the hip hop culture, man. I think it's more about like the have and the have-nots. It's more of a social thing. It's more of a social divide. As far
what kind of social stuff you think is happening in Amsterdam that would make a dude like the DJ, like, you know, like I can understand why people in Cuba are going through it, so they feel like he explained hip hop.
I felt the Cuban dude the most. It made me feel good in the heart. They still like that's what Coup hurt. When they started hip hop, when hip hop got started, I think they are the closest to the essence that I've seen around the world, including in America.
What do